Let's move on to main topic number 2. And our second main topic today gets sent in to us by Greg Meechan. And Greg Meechan writes the following. I am very excited for DC Fandome. I'm sure a lot of people are right now, very much. I'm very excited for DC Fandome. And I lost my place. There we are. I'm very excited for DC Fandome. I know Comic-Con at home didn't go off very well, but this just feels more streamlined and integrated. Anyway, I saw the reports on the guest list, and I was shocked to see that Henry Cavill was not going to appear. To me, he's sort of the embodiment of the DCEU. And listen, man, you're not alone in that. You're not the only person who feels like he's kind of the embodiment of the DCEU. Anyway, he's sort of the embodiment of the DCEU. I know he doesn't have any new movies coming, but why not appear to talk about Snyder Cut since, you know, he was with Zack Snyder when it was announced in the first place. All right, true words, my friend. Thanks a lot for sending that in. And yes, so this brought up a lot of conversation. The guest list got released for DC Fandome. Now, again, on the one hand, I heard some people talking about this online, that their enthusiasm for DC Fandome dropped after Comic-Con at home because, you know, it's just a lot of pre-recorded stuff. They could have just dropped it on YouTube instead of gathering it together. But I agree with you. I feel like this whole DC Fandome thing that they're doing is more well thought out and does feel more integrated. And I think one of the things you can hang your hat on is that I believe they probably now had the opportunity to watch what happened at Comic-Con at home, see what worked, see what didn't work, and now they can benefit from those lessons learned. A couple of big things about names appearing, you know, Val Kilmer is going to be one of the guests there, which is kind of cool. But the name, Rob, the name that was not there was Henry Cavill. So clearly, Henry Cavill is not going to be there. However, Rob, I want to propose the following. Put on your tinfoil hat with me for a moment, and let's go for a ride. Let me be very clear about this. What I'm about to say was not given to me by any insider information, okay? So this is not fact. I have not been told this by anybody involved at DC or at Warner Brothers or anything. Okay, let me just be clear about that. I'm talking what I am deducing here, okay? So it could be true, could not be true, but I want to give you my thoughts on this and why I'm thinking what I'm thinking. I believe the only rational explanation is that Henry Cavill is going to be there and that they are keeping his appearance a secret for the announcement, a surprise announcement of a Henry Cavill Superman project. Whether that is a standalone Superman film or that he is going to be appearing in Black Adam or he's going to be appearing in whatever it is, I believe that the reason they have not announced Henry Cavill is because his is going to be a surprise appearance in conjunction with the announcement of a Superman project, whether it's Superman being involved in another project or getting his own standalone film. Let me break down why I believe this. All right, let's go over to the Campea classroom for a second here. Okay. Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill, Superman. All right. And let me follow me here. Follow me here. And then let me of course, Henry Cavill hasn't been Superman. There are those reports that they have parted ways. This is a few years ago when asked about it, when directly asked, hey, Warner Brothers, are you still going to have Henry Cavill as Superman? What was their answer? As of right now, we have no future plans for Superman, but we love working with Henry Cavill. It was the worst non-answer in non-answer history. It was terrible. But a couple of things I want us to point out here. On November 19th of 2019, okay, in an interview with Men's Health magazine, Men's Health, my typing is horrible. In Men's Health magazine, Henry Cavill said the following: the cape is still in the closet, right? Now, all that really told us at the time, back in November of 2019, was that Henry himself has not given up on the idea of playing Superman, right? We still had the haunting words of Warner Brothers saying, we currently have no plans for Superman, but we love working with Henry. But still, November 19th, 2019, Henry says in Men's Health magazine, the cape is still in the closet. Okay, now let's fast forward to May 20th of 2020. Zack Snyder is doing a Man of Steel watch-along, right? And who does Zack Snyder have on with him? Henry Cavill is on that Man of Steel watch along. I mean, he is the Man of Steel. But what May 20th, 2020 is going to be more remembered for is not that they did a Man of Steel watch along. It was the Zack Snyder Justice League going to HBO Max announcement, right? That's what May 20th, 2020 is going to be remembered for. And who was on screen with Zack and Deborah Snyder when they made the announcement about Zack Snyder's Snyder Cut of Justice League going to HBO Max? It was Henry Cavill. Okay, so Henry Cavill was there. November 19th, he says the closet's still in the cape. The cape is still in the closet. The cape is still in the closet. All right, on May 20th, the announcement comes, and who's there with Zack Snyder? Henry Cavill was there. Okay, let's fast forward now to May 27th. Okay, on May 27th, the major trades all report that Cavill is in talks with Warner Brothers to return, let's say, as Superman. Okay, so on May 27th, a week later, all the major trades, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, are reporting that Henry Cavill is in talks with Warner Brothers to return as Superman. They were saying at the time, though, that it is not for a standalone Superman movie or anything like that, but it's going to be to appear in other people's films as a supporting character. Okay, and Rob, I still remember the day they talked about that. We said, that seems kind of weird. At any rate, so that was May 27th. All right, let's now go 2 days later to May 29th, 2020. On the John Campea Show, I told you that I had been told by two separate sources, although there was some slightly different information between the two sources that I got. Basically, they both agreed that the sources that talked to me is that Warner Brothers was giving J.J. Abrams Superman. However, you can't take that to the bank because I also got some conflicting information between those two sources. To be honest with you, there was some conflicting information. One of them said, though, that JJ wants Henry as Superman for a standalone Superman movie. The other person said that if JJ's got an open slate, he could take anybody as Superman. So don't take that, and I said on the show, don't take that to the bank because I'm getting conflicting information from two different sources. But there was that kind of talk out there. Now let's fast forward a little bit more to July. Now this is bigger than you might think. On July 16th of 2020, all right, this may seem like nothing, but I'm telling you, I think it's something major. Henry Cavill, which will go down as a day in infamy, builds a gaming PC. Remember that? Rob, did you see that video?
Yep.
Of Henry Cavill? Henry Cavill.
That Star Wars girl said her womb exploded when she watched it.
That's right. I remember one of the headlines on one of the sites was actually said, Henry Cavill builds PC in muscle shirt, thousands impregnated. I remember that was basically one of the things. But here's why I actually think this is actually important. Follow me here. Here's a picture of me and Henry. All right. This is a couple years ago at Comic-Con. You can tell by looking at his arm closest to the screen, he's a big dude, right? He's a big dude. That is clear. But that was just a couple years ago. It's hard to tell just from one still picture. You have to go and watch the video. The amount of muscle Henry Cavill has put on is daunting. This is a bad angle for his arms, but I'm telling you, his arms are significantly bigger than they've ever been. Also, the thickness from his back to the front of his chest is thicker than it's ever. His shoulders are bigger than they have ever been. John, what's the point? He is working out like crazy. And I believe, tinfoil hat and all, that's another sign he's preparing for Superman. He's preparing to put the cape back on again. I believe this is him preparing to put the cape back on again. A lot of big physical muscular actors will sometimes try to trim down for other roles because sometimes their sheer mass doesn't make them the best candidates for other types of roles. Henry Cavill is clearly working the F out like mad. And I think any one of these things on their own Maybe not all that convincing, but November 19th, he says the cape's still in closet. November 20th, he's on the announcement of Snyder Cut going to HBO Max with Zack Snyder. So why the hell wouldn't he be there at DC Fandome to talk about it with Snyder when other people are? The 27th, the major trades reports that he's in talks to maybe do something. On the 29th, I told you about the J.J. Abrams things. And July 16th, we get a good glimpse of him building this PC, and he is yoked beyond what he has ever been. Now, some people may say, but John... What about Ben Affleck? Ben's not announced. Ben's not going to be there. Well, I mean, I think the Ben Affleck situation is clearly a very different situation. There's a lot more moving parts and baggage and everything that goes along with Ben. I don't think Ben not being there is any kind of a surprise. I don't think that's any kind of a surprise. That's not to say it's impossible that he could make a surprise appearance too, but I'm just saying, when you consider all those pieces of evidence, it is shocking that they're not saying Henry Cavill's going to be there. It's not so shocking that they're saying that they're saying Ben's not going to be there. So I believe those are two different situations entirely. So again, let me make this very, very clear in case I didn't make it clear enough before. I am the recipient of no insider information. I have not been fed info by anybody at Warner Brothers or DC saying, hey, John, just so you know, Henry is going to be there, is going to make an announcement. None of that is there. This is my own deduction of the facts that we have in front of us, okay? Purely my own speculation. Could be right, could be wrong. But I'm telling you, I believe that Henry Cavill is going to appear at this thing and they will make a surprise. It's going to be one of those, oh, just one more thing, everybody. And they bring out Henry Cavill. Hey, guys, sitting there in his tank top making another PC. Just, you know, I'm going to be appearing in the Flash movie with, with all my new muscles and everything. Or maybe they're going to announce a Man of Steel 2. Who knows? But, Rob, that's what I'm deducing. Granted, I fully admit, Rob, this is me putting on the tinfoil hat. This is me pulling a lot of strings. I understand. But, Rob, you see that Henry Cavill not being at DC Fandome. It just makes no sense to me, especially when you consider everything's going. Rob, what do you think about this little conspiracy theory of mine? Do you think Henry actually is not going to be, and it is exactly as it appears to be? Or are you putting on the tinfoil hat with me and you think there's going to be some kind of surprise? What do you think?
I'm with you. I think that, they've come to, we've definitely seen, especially when it comes to superhero projects, ever since Tom Hiddleston stepped out and stayed on the stage in Hall H, dressed as Loki in full costume, I've always been thinking in the back of my mind, specifically when it comes to comic book related properties, there's a bit of showmanship that has been started. And it was like having Henry Cavill show up for that announcement of the Snyder Cut. That wasn't something that was expected or announced. And I think they've realized the power in all of this. After all, this whole DC Fandome event is all about generating. It's all a giant marketing ploy, and I think it's great. I think it's great for their brand. I think it's great for what they're doing. And just like Justice Con, which was a fan-run convention, got more views than Comic-Con at home, I think this DC event is going to be huge for them. I think they've been marketing it well. I think everybody's excited for it, and I think they're going to need to drum up excitement by doing exactly this. And I mean, what I like about it is it basically says in a subtle way, if this happens, that Superman is still the crown jewel. When we're going to bring in a special guest, it's going to be Henry Cavill. And I would imagine that they will finally announce. There's never been a movie called just Superman. There's been Superman the movie and Superman 2 and Superman 3 and Superman 4, but there's never been Superman, just Superman. And I think that's what they're going to announce. I think they will announce that, like you said. I think it'll be a big deal. It'll probably be, I don't know if it'll be a J.J. Abrams thing or not, but I kind of hope not. But I think why not? I mean, we're getting, when it comes to DC and after the Snyder Cut was announced, to me, all bets are off. And, Zack Snyder dropped that picture of Steppenwolf this weekend, which looks way better than the Steppenwolf we got in the finished Justice League movie. And I'm like, they know what they're having. I think no one is having more fun right now than Warner Brothers. Now with the Snyder Cut happening and Wonder Woman 84 coming out and all this stuff happen, the Pattinson Batman, they're having a ball. And I think, why not? Because it's all free. How many impressions do they get on the internet when these things happen? Millions? It's marketing like they've never seen before.
I agree. Now, listen, I also want to point out, too, some people are making a semi-valid point. There are some people want to remind me in the live chat that, hey, John, don't forget, I mean, Henry Cavill was this Geralt of Rivia, right? He was really big in that. Yeah, he was, but he wasn't as big as he was in that PC building picture. He was not that big in Witcher Season 1. So again, listen, this is all speculation. Make no mistake about it. This is all speculation on my point. I just, again, it seems really odd to me that you'd have Henry Cavill there for the announcement of the HBO Max event, but not have him there on a panel to talk about it. That seems very, very odd. And, all the other things put together. And I'm sure you guys are going to bring up more of these questions. I'm sure we're going to talk more about this once we get into the live questions part of the show. But for now, let me ask you guys, what do you think? As a matter of fact, I decided to make that the topic of today's question of the day. Just before we started the show, I jumped into our community tab on the YouTube channel there, and I posed the question to you guys. And I simply asked, question of the day, Henry Cavill is not listed as a guest at the upcoming DC Fandome, despite the fact that he was with Zack Snyder when they announced that Justice League Snyder Cut was coming to HBO Max. Do you think he's really not appearing, or do you think it's a setup for a surprise appearance and Superman-related announcement? I gotta tell you, I'm surprised. Right now, a little over 3,000 of you guys have already voted on this. I thought it'd be closer to 50-50. 34% of you are saying, John, tinfoil hat, dude. Tinfoil hat. Come on. It's as simple as he can't make it, so they said he's not going to be there. He's not going to be there. To my surprise, though, 66% of you seem to be buying my tinfoil hat theory that, yes, he is going to be there and they're going to make some kind of surprise announcement. Again, I don't know, but that's where we're at right now. 66% of you saying, yes, he's going to be there. 34% of you are saying, no, he's not. We're going to leave that poll up there again. It's in the community tab of the YouTube channel. By the way, you should be subscribed to the YouTube channel, guys. Make sure you click on that subscribe button, become subscribed to the channel. So go on in there. In the meantime, guys, for those of you here now, just jump down into the comment section and let me know what you guys think. All right.